down here to California in 2006 to pursue acting.
Okay.
Then you got the dream in your head.
Right.
I'm gonna get to Cali. I'm gonna get off the bus. Somebody gonna be like, a director gonna be like, oh yeah, you. I need you to give me my new film.
Oh, the
That's not
dreams
the real
we all
man,
have.
right?
Yes.
As soon as I touch down, it's gonna be, oh man, I've been looking for you. None of that happened.
Class to the past, present, and future you with actress Danielle Mone Truitt as she dives into the beautiful complexities of life's journey through real, transparent conversation. All the women I've been made me into who I've become.
Hey y'all, it's Danielle Mone Truitt, and welcome back to All the Women I've Been. I have a very special guest today. You might know him. He does these really cool, funny, viral, animal comedic videos. His name is Tony Baker, the one and only actor, comedian. He's gonna sit down with me and we're gonna have a conversation that you really don't wanna miss out on. So make sure you tune in. Tony!
Yes.
Give me a hug.
Bring it in.
Nice to meet you, man.
Good hug, too. Good solid. I'm a hug connoisseur.
Are you?
I don't like side hugs.
I hate side hugs.
I hate side
I mean, unless I don't really fuck with you, then that's how you know I don't like you that much.
Side hug.
Because I'm a like this. I'll do this if
With
I'm
the pat?
With the pat.
Ooh, the pat. I hate the pat. The side hug and the pat together just don't even touch me at that point.
Or you make me uncomfortable. It's either I don't like you or you
Right.
make me uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
So I gotta be like.
Okay.
But hugs are important.
Oh my God.
I love them.
I love a good solid.
Good solid hug.
Some people get really good hugs.
They do. But what about now? Is there a certain time limit to the hug where it's like when you let go? Like, you know, sometimes you hug, you stick.
I stay as long hey, I stay in it. You gotta feel it out. Whatever you feeling it that now if a hug is too long, you might cry for no reason.
It's true, especially men. I think
Yeah,
that
we
happens to men
still
a lot.
in this hug and then you just fold. Yeah, so
I love that.
yeah. That was a good hug, though. It's quality.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to meet you. Thank you for saying yes to being on the podcast. I'm doing all this on my own, so I don't have like a person, that goes out and gets the talent for me.
Right.
It's literally just I pray about it, like, Lord, who should I have on the podcast?
Okay.
Bring them to my mind or let me see something or whatever. And I don't remember. I don't know if you posted something or whatever it was, and I was like, I should ask Tony.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know if he likes, because the funny part is we were talking about earlier how you're like, when it's just one person, you're like shy, but in front of a lot of people, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I don't know if he's the type of person that would want to like just, share, because I don't know you like that.
For podcast, I'm good.
Good. Okay.
It's I turn it on.
Right.
But
yeah, it's still
if I can turn it on, I'm good.
Okay.
If I gotta be myself, I'll be shy. So now I'm on. You know what I'm saying?
He's on.
I'm on right now.
But yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should ask. So then I just waited like a couple days,
Mm-hmm.
and then I feel like the Lord brought you back to my mind.
Okay.
Again. So I was like, let me just ask him.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. And I just appreciated how you were like, I would love to.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was so easy.
Why not? Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, thank you. I'm a big fan. I have been for several years. Like I saw your videos, on Instagram where you voicing the animals, which is always hysterical to me.
Thank you.
And then I haven't seen any of your stand up in person, but I saw the things that you clip and or the clips that you post and just some of the things you talk about. I just appreciate and admire. Number one, the way that you kind of, I don't know, like I want to say you like stand up for women.
Oh yeah.
In a really cool way. Exactly. Why do you think it's so tough?
Because there's a disconnect between men and women that we got to dig deep on, together. But I can just see that there's a lot of men that don't like women. They just don't. I can read it by the comments that they say. I'm just like, yo, you don't like women. And, of course they be having sex with women and doing all that, but that's not actually loving a woman.
And liking them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's two different things. So it's just like, y'all don't like women. And so that's the thing that I see. And I go harder because of that. Like
Right.
I'm the type of person that you can call it petty or whatever, but it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go harder because you pandering to women. Oh,
Yeah, and so what? Even if you were, what is the issue? Like I think that was one of the comments I saw, and when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, if he was, if he was pandering to women, like if women, that's the thing that people don't understand also about a business mindset.
Right.
If women were his primary audience, then why would he not do that?
Right.
Because if that's his primary audience, he should do that. But the fact that it's not just a business thing for you, that it's something, that you kind of do intentional. I just admire that and I appreciate that. So I want to say thanks.
It's organic for real because I just grew up with I grew up with divorced parents, so we would go to my dad's house on the weekends. We were with my mom all week. And so, I always feared her more than my dad for some reason. Like I would get in trouble at daddy's house, but I would just take the whooping and just be like, all right. You know what I'm saying? But my mom, I don't know, it was something about her that just scared me more. And so
I hope my sons feel that.
Man, it was just like.
Is that true, Jackson? Do you feel that way about me? Are you more scared of me than your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like that, so I'm like more like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. It's something in the eyes. It's just like, because my dad would just be like, y'all getting the whooping, and that's what it is.
Right.
But with my mom, it was just, there was an intensity on it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to try this woman. So I really wouldn't get in trouble with her. But over at his house, I was cutting up. So, and then, I grew up in Chicago, South Side. So if you're not familiar with Chicago, it's a very segregated city.
Yes.
So the South Side is black, big black, everybody black.
Okay.
Black. And so I grew up in that environment, and with that, the majority of my teachers were black women. I would say 97% I had black women teachers growing up. So I was just always comfortable with women leadership. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that, I have a problem with male leadership. It was just I was comfortable in that space.
You weren't threatened by it.
No.
You were used to it.
Not at all, because I got women educators, I got my mom, you know what I'm saying? So I was comfortable in that space. So I always just had good relationships with women.
I love that.
And so family, friends, whatever. So I was just always comfortable in that space.
Yeah.
And so it just never changed.
And it goes into your primary, which I definitely.
And women are good consumers. So if I was business minded like that, women spend money.
Yes, we do.
Dudes, man, if our money ain't right, we ain't doing nothing. We ain't buying nothing. Man, times is hard.
Right.
Women will find money out of nowhere. The brokest women be taking trips.
They
be going out to eat, and I'll be like,
be broke as hell.
They be broke as hell.
You want another trip?
Yes. You ain't got no money.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. In my 20s and when I was, when I was broke, I'd be like, I went to Vegas one time with 44 cents in my wallet. Literally.
I bet you had a great weekend.
I did. It didn't start off great because I actually got arrested at the airport because somebody.
Don't you get arrested at the airport?
Somebody who shall remain.
You was smuggling?
No, well, they thought I was. Somebody put a gun in a bag that I was packing. It was like a backpack. And I put all my makeup and everything in this backpack, to take it on my trip. And I get to the airport and they're like, do you have anything? They have how they take you, go through the conveyor, they take you over to the side. Do you have anything, that is sharp, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I was like, there might be some like barber razors in there because at the time I was married and I was like, my husband, he cuts hair, so maybe there's some razors in there or something.
Yeah.
I was oblivious.
Of course.
And they're like, okay. And then the guy's like, shh, call somebody over. So then they look. I'm still oblivious.
Of course.
I'm just like,
they're tripping on these razors. Man. Can't travel, man. The big, that's what I'm tripping. I know you was cocky in your mind. Oh, you're mad at the lotion. I just bought that lotion.
So I'm just like, what's going on? So finally, I'm like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, ma'am, you have a gun in your backpack. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, can you tell us what it looks like? I was like, no, because I literally don't use a gun.
Right.
I don't have a gun. Like it definitely isn't mine. So I can't tell you what it looks like.
Right.
So they're like, they call a police lady over. she puts the handcuffs on me. I literally had a breakdown in the airport because I've never been arrested.
This is it.
Jail is not
This is it.
on my vision board.
Right. You about to do life in prison in your mind. You about to do life.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, well, it must be my husband's.
Mhm.
Like he must have put it, put it in there. I don't know.
Right.
So they call him. He comes back to the airport. He comes and gets stuff because, of course, I'm about to go to jail.
Right.
And so the lady handcuffs me, and she's being completely insensitive. I had cornrow, the swoop lemonade braids to the side with my jeans with the holes in it. Like I'm going to Vegas for a girls' weekend.
Right.
So of course she's judging me, based on what I look like, and she's like, "How much money do you have on you?" I was like, 46 cents. 44 cents.
Yeah.
And she was like, so they go through my wallet. It's literally 44 cents.
You had change.
They thought I had dope on me. Like they thought I had all this stuff. So she's like, if you don't calm down, we're going to have to take you to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, I'm not doing anything. I'm panicking because you're arresting me in front of everybody, number one.
Everybody's
and I've
looking.
never been to jail, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So finally, this black lady comes over who's a cop. And she's like, calm down. Like, and she tells the other officer, she's like, just chill out.
Yeah.
She said, I can tell that you don't know what's going on. Like, that you don't know what's going on. She's like, I will call your husband, and talk to him. So she did. He came back. They let him take my stuff home.
Okay.
She was like, the lady was like, we're going to take you to the 44th precinct, like, which is where the real criminals go.
God. Did she say that?
Yes. So I'm panicking more.
Right,
She's like, and it's a Thursday. So she's like, yeah, we're going to book you and you're not going to get out till Monday.
What kind of cop is this?
I was like, why are you doing this?
Right.
This lady was like, you're not staying in over the weekend. The night watch commander, after he reviews everything, she was like, I'm sure he'll let you go home. She was like, you might only be in there a few hours. I'm like, I literally could not believe. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So they take me, put me in the police car. As soon as I get in the police car, the cops start bumping gangster rap. Just the raunchiest hood. I said, I'm sorry. Can you turn that off, please?
Yes.
I don't want to listen to that. Can you put on some gospel music or something? Because this is not, like, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, this is what y'all do. Like, you arrest black people, and then you put on gangster rap because we're all thugs, of course. And I was like, I don't belong here.
Yeah. That's what you said?
I said, I don't belong here.
Right.
This is a misunderstanding. I'm not a thug. Turn that shit off.
Did they turn it off?
They're like, oh, okay. So they turned it off. So then I sat in the cell for like 5 hours. I sat in the cell for 5 hours. In the meantime, I was going to be on Snowfall. My episode of Snowfall was gonna air 2 days, like 2 days later.
Method actress right here, yeah. She did this on purpose to connect to the source material. You ain't slick. But keep going.
And so I ended up talking to the officers about it. They're like, oh my God, we love Snowfall. They talking to me.
Recognize.
Right. And then the night watch commander was like, ma'am, you can go. My husband at the time was, waiting for me or whatever. And that's a whole another story.
You cussed him out when you got to say that. You came there and cuss first.
But I went to Vegas the next day.
Of course. You still got to take the trip. You still got to take the trip.
I still took my trip.
Was it fun?
But it was fun. It was great. We
That's
had a great
crazy.
time. We had a great time. But that is insane.
What happened to the gun? Did they give it back to the husband?
I think they kept it because I'm not sure if he had like a license, but I had to fight for my freedom after that.
Yeah.
Because they were like, I had to do a whole court thing. They said I was going to go to jail for 18 months.
Yeah.
So they were trying to get me to plead guilty. And I was like, no,
Oh.
I'm not guilty. I didn't know it was
Right.
in there. So I'm not going to plead guilty. So I had to testify on my own.
On your own behalf.
I hadn't had nobody to help me testify. And I testified very well. And they were like, the judge was like, I have to agree with her. Not guilty.
That's good. Well, that's the performance for your life.
Wait, but it really was. And I was nervous too,
Yeah.
but I was like, I'm telling the truth. So, but the funniest part is I applied for TSA recently and got denied
Because of that.
because of my criminal record.
You got a criminal record?
That's what they said on the paper.
Is it permanent or they?
No, I have to prove to them that I was found not guilty.
Oh, okay. How do you do that?
Good question. So I have to research. Hopefully, I don't have to get a lawyer. It's just.
So you don't have TSA
I
pretty.
don't.
So you got to wait in
It's
the regular line when you be traveling. And you be traveling.
I have
You
clear.
got clear? Okay.
I do.
All right.
I have clear, so at least I can kind of like
Right.
get up. But I got to take my shoes off every time.
Dang. Oh.
Unfortunately.
You was thugging it out, man.
I was
Living
thugging
that
it
thug life. Here you are.
So okay, how did you get into comedy? Why, where did the love for comedy come from?
Actually, I wanted to act. I've always wanted to act. And
Love it.
so, growing up in Chicago on the South Side in the 80s, I was born in 77. So I just felt like it was distant. Like I felt like being a Hollywood actor, that wasn't my reality. It just felt far. Even though they were making movies in Chicago, it just seemed far from me on the South Side. So I was just like, maybe it's just a fantasy. But I've always been crazy about movies the whole time. And so, and then growing up, it was just like, since it didn't seem real, and plus I was a shy kid, so I'm like, I can't talk in front of people. I can't, do all of that. So it was just like a fantasy. And so when I got older, when I was in high school, moved to New Mexico.
Oh, really?
Because my oldest brother got stationed there. He was in the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, "Why don't you and mine come out to New Mexico?"
Interesting city.
Man.
I shot a TV show there. I was there for like 5 months.
Was it Albuquerque?
It was Albuquerque.
Yeah. Clovis is, take Albuquerque,
Mm-hmm.
take away 85% of the population, you got Clovis, New Mexico.
Oh, my
No
God.
mountains. No mountains.
Wow.
It's flat, farm, agriculture, smells like cow poop soon as you touch down. So, because I went to Albuquerque first. When we take the train from Chicago to New Mexico, Albuquerque is where we got off.
Right.
So I was like, okay,
Right.
legit. Mountains. I was seeing mountains for the first time. I've never seen any of
Beautiful,
this.
too. Yeah.
Right? Because, Chicago is flat. So I'm
Right.
just like, wow. And then we go to Clovis. I'm like,
Oh.
all right. So I'm in New Mexico. Still, now I seem even further from Hollywood now. At the time, with no studios,
Right.
shooting nothing. In New
Right.
Mexico.
Exactly.
So anyway, it's still in my mind. I didn't major in theater. I didn't, do plays or anything like that because I felt like I never wanted to do theater.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I felt like I want to do TV and film.
Right.
I don't really want to do because I was scared.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, fast forward, I'm at New Mexico State, and I auditioned for Fences. No, of Mice and Men.
Oh, I love
Of Mice and
it.
Men, right? So I played the role of Crooks in that play.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar with Mice and Men, I played like a crippled black man in this play. So I ended up doing that, won an award for it, loved it. I was like, oh man, I should have done this the whole time. It was that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
But by this time, I've been changed my major 3 times. I'm like,
What
that
were
was
the 3 majors?
psychology.
Me too. I was
Psychology.
psychology 1st.
It was boring. I was like,
Fast
I'm not.
head.
And it
Too
was boring.
scientific.
I thought it was gonna be like Silence of the Lambs, day 1. I'm looking at a serial killer, like, why are you doing this? That's correct. So boring.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, what else am I interested in? Knowing I wanted to act, but I was just like, I need a concrete degree. And so I was like, well, I can teach. I like, I can kind of perform teaching the class. And so I do secondary education, science.
Oh, wow.
So I was into science.
Nice.
And so the classes tore me. Can I cuss on him?
Yeah, you can.
Tore my ass in half. Genetics, chemistry, physics, ecology, tore my ass in half. I was failing left and right. I was like, you know what? I'm going to change it to secondary education, social studies. I can teach history.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, change it to that. But I was still just like,
it wasn't what you really wanted to do. Yeah.
And so I auditioned for that play, got the role, did it. And I was like, this was fire. I did another play with that same director. It was like a holiday play, so I was playing various characters. And then somebody that saw me in that play was like, I want you to do my play called Fences.
I directed that play before. So
you know it well.
I love
you
that
know it like the back of your hand. So I played Truitt.
Oh, love it.
So I was the lead, and I was like, I can memorize all this material I got to go for the gusto. I need to quit playing. So
Did you major in theater?
no, I didn't change the major again because I was literally one full semester shy of a degree.
I see.
And so I was just like, I just got to jump out the plane.
Good for you.
And so moved out here to California in 2006 to pursue acting.
Okay.
Then you got the dream in your head.
Right.
I'm gonna get to Cali. I'm gonna get off the bus. Somebody gonna be like, a director gonna be like, oh yeah, you. I need you to give me my new film.
The
That's
dreams
not the real-
we all
Yeah,
have.
right?
Yes.
As soon as I touch down, it's gonna be, oh man, I've been looking for you. None of that happened. So backtrack, I did extra work for the first Transformers movie. They shot it in New Mexico.
Okay.
So I got a taste of.
Yeah, being on set and all that.
But that was fun. 'Cause we running from explosions. We shooting
that's
robots.
fun.
So I'm just like, this is extra work.
That's a cool extra job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But then when you get here, it was like
terrible.
the mundane drive.
So I moved here in 2006 as well.
Same here.
I started out a psychology major and then ended up changing my major to theater.
Okay.
And then after I graduated from college, I did theater around town. And then I moved to LA in 2006. And one of the first things I did in LA was a little extra job. I was like in a choir, singing in a choir or whatever. And at the end of that shoot, I said, never again. I remember when I was in the back of the police car and I said, I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
I said the same thing
about
being an extra. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here.
So it was
like,
one
oh yeah, I was like, I'm not an extra.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not.
Right.
So I'm going to focus on what it is I really want to do, which is be the lead in things and stuff like that. Because I was like, this extra, that's not.
Background. But then you singing, because you were singing, right?
Yeah, we were singing in the choir. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And so you do extra work and your soul leaves your body a little bit.
A little bit.
So
it's a special type of person that does extra work. Some of them love it, and I respect them, especially with being on the show I'm on. I'm with I see the extras a lot. Right. And some of them are they're like super extra. They love it, and I'm like, what's for you is for you.
Right.
No shade.
But I was like,
I don't belong here.
If it was like I could do stunts and run and shoot, fine. But that's not the day-to-day extra work out here in LA. So I was just like, and I'm, at that time we were living in Orange County.
Okay.
So I was on that freeway, and I was just like.
And how old were you at this point?
So at this point, 2006, I am 29. Okay. 29. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, you know what? I gotta do something else. So it was like I was thinking about all the comedians, because people always said I was funny. Yeah. And I was just like, I denied it because it was like I never made my older brothers laugh, so I never felt truly funny. Right. I'd be at school, they laughing at school, but like, yeah, my brothers ain't laughing. Watch it. And then when I get older. The girls that I like, I'm making them laugh. Of course. But I'm like, but I want to be smooth. I don't want to be funny. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be sexy. What's up?
And they laugh harder.
They laughing hard. Sick of y'all. And so I just denied the funny the whole time. Yeah. So when I'm in college, I'm working at the Department of Black Programs. I was very active in like the social stuff going on, the entertainment stuff. So I was always tapped into that. And so I would host whatever we were putting on, whether it be an MC battle or pageant and stuff, I was always hosting. And I was just not really realizing my stage presence. I was just like, man, you funny. I was like, yeah, we just had to keep it moving. Right. And so, so I was just thinking about that. And then this one girl, I was at a Common concert when he was doing that Electric Circus tour in Albuquerque. And she just pulled me out the crowd. She's like, you're hilarious. And I'm just like, where you know me from? You hosted that MC Battle talent show on campus, and you were funny as hell. Oh, it just stuck. I was like, I'm funny to people that don't know me. So it registered. So it was just sitting in there. So when I'm out here in LA doing all the extra work and auditioning and taking L's, I was just like, look at all the comedians that were comedians first, and they transitioned into acting. Right. Robin Williams was my base because he was just the perfect representation of transitioning from comedy into acting and doing drama. Because I can do drama. Yes. I can crowd on cue, all that. And so he was the base. Yeah. So I was like, let me try stand up, man. People saying I'm funny, man. Let me get up there. And I finally did it. And I fell in love with it. I was just like, this is what I was supposed to do the whole time.
Yeah.
And so
I
ever since
admire comedians. It's hard.
it's
Like
tough.
I perform by myself, like solo. I have a one woman show, so I know what it's like to have to captivate an audience and keep them engaged for my play. I think is an hour and 15 minutes, so you have to keep them engaged the whole time. But comedians, I feel like I would be way too nervous to try to get up there and like tell jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
There's
the
like
pressure's on.
there's pressure's on. There's a formula to it, you know, that I think a lot of people take for granted, you know. And even when you're doing comedic acting, it's more difficult than drama in a lot of times, because if you don't hit that punchline at the right time with the right amount of stillness, or you know, or whatever it is, it's not gonna land.
No.
And people are not gonna laugh.
They're gonna be like,
exactly.
Man, what else?
So yeah, it's very calculated and you definitely have to have a gift for it. But I really admire what you guys do.
Because it's like I'll be telling my agents, I'm like, yo, send me more dramas.
Yeah.
I can do. I know y'all know I'm the funny whatever, but
now, have you found it difficult because you're a comedian now? Like, do you feel like they box you in?
Like my agency is kind of like that, because it's like, because I keep having to tell them, you send me these dramas. They'll send. I don't even think they sent me one yet. I'm like, yo, send me the dramas, man. I can do this.
It's like, we ain't listening to you.
Yeah, like we got this new comedy in. There's some drama in there somewhere, but not your part. I'm like, I can do the drama, because I do not want to be boxed.
Right.
And so I'm always telling them, like, yo, send me the dramas.
Have you thought about doing a play again?
I have.
Okay.
Because I love the stage now. And so, you know, stand up, you know, I started doing stand up in 2008. So I've been doing it, you know, full time the whole time. And so I'm just used to that live energy, that live connection. And even when I do act outs in my comedy, it's like, I get a little taste of theater again.
Have you thought about writing a one-man show?
I've thought about it.
Like that gives you the opportunity to show
the range.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm lazy with the writing. I ain't even gonna lie. Outside of like my material, I'm lazy with like writing.
A writer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did for my one-woman show. I partnered with my really close friend Anthony, which is a guy.
Okay.
He's a great playwright. I knew. Yep. I didn't know anything about writing a play. Yeah. But I knew I wanted to do a one-woman show. So I was like, hey, can you help me develop? And it took about 3 years. We developed it. And the crazy part is he's a guy writing a one-woman show about 3 women. Gotcha. But he grew up with women. Like, he grew up around women, and you know, the play is fantastic. I can't wait. I'm gonna do it again at some point. But you know, I think for me, it's like, if I want to do something and I know I can't do it or don't want to do it, I'm gonna find somebody who actually likes to do it, knows how to do it.
And then the partnership is just
partner together.
Was that one woman play about you, or was it?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I played 3. It's called 3 Black Girl Blues, and I played 3 different characters. They're friends that grew up together, and now they're grown, and all this crazy stuff comes out about their childhood, and just like they have to kind of like face their demons or whatever at this certain time in their life. But one of them is a real hood chick named Keisha.
From the airport going to Vegas with the gun.
Thank you.
Keep going.
The second one is Jill, who's a stay-at-home mom, you know, married stay-at-home mom, drinks too much because she's unhappy with her life, but keeps a smile on her face, you know. And then the third one is Stephanie, who's like a boss bitch, you know, executive somewhere. Pantsuit. And she's talking to her therapist. Okay. So it's a lot of mental health stuff, and, you know, just diving and unpacking a lot of things that Black women, you know, deal with. But the beautiful part is to be able to play those type of archetypes on an American stage, especially Keisha, with her being so hood. You know, people don't look at people that grow up that way, or live that kind of life. There's like an insensitivity to people like that. But the cool thing is I get to present her in a way where people are like, damn, I do relate to this ghetto ass woman. You know? Like I had a 70-year-old white man come up to me and say, oh my God, this was amazing. I love Keisha. I related to her the most. And like, What?
Mhm.
So, it now it's become kind of ministry for me. Like
Right.
I use it. It's not about my life, but by playing those characters, I have found so much of myself
Right.
in them, and I've grown because of them, and
Wow.
they've like challenged me in ways that I didn't even know I needed to be challenged.
Right.
So I think the process of doing your own show, whether it's about your life or
Right.
whether it's about whatever, a story that's made up,
Mhm.
I really do think it's just a great endeavor to find out more about yourself,
Yeah.
to heal parts of yourself,
Mhm.
and to face parts of yourself.
Right.
So anyway, I just encourage you, like,
That's fire.
I know you got a lot of life. You lived a lot of life.
For sure.
I know you got a lot of stories to tell,
Mhm.
whether they're your personal ones or made up ones.
Mhm.
So if it's something you wanted to do,
Yeah.
I just think you should work with somebody on
This
it.
definitely crossed my mind because I feel like it would just be a dope experience, and I feel like I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll
Did you have
direct you.
a favorite character?
Do it.
Bring me up. I'm gonna hold you to it.
I
Now.
will.
Don't
I'm
just
not
say
playing.
stuff willy
I'm
nilly.
not. I will direct you.
Remember you had said that you was
Like,
gonna
oh,
be
this
ready.
Tony, let me not. I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
answer. Okay, so I would love to talk to you about your son.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just want you to tell me about him. I didn't know him. I'm
Uh-huh.
just meeting you,
Right.
But of course, when I, saw on Instagram that he was in an accident, passed away, just
Right.
my heart just broke for you.
Yeah.
But before we get into, how you've been coping with his loss, I want you to just tell me who he was. Tell me about him, who he was.
So his name is Serene Anthony Raekwon Baker. I put
Uh-huh.
the Raekwon in there because I'm a huge Wu-Tang head. So he was born January 3rd, 2000. So that's my oldest, you know what I'm saying? And he's great. He was a great kid. Like he cried a lot when he was a baby. He used to cry. I have two sons, so he
Okay.
used to cry. Usually when you got multiple children,
Right.
if one is the crier, the next one
Right.
is usually chill, or vice versa.
Right.
So he was the crier. I remember one time he cried a full day. My ex-wife, she was getting her hair done by family.
Uh-huh.
When y'all be getting y'all the hair braided, if it's family, that's gonna be all day.
It's a 12-hour.
They gonna be in there talking, stopping. The pressure's off because it's family.
Right.
So it's just me and him all day. I was at my in-laws' house, and he was crying that whole day. But I refused to. I didn't pass him on to his grandmother. I just took it, and I was just like, "This is the worst day
My
of my life, right here." And he was crying the whole day. So he was a crier. But then, as he got older, and then my younger son, Sincere, they're less than 2 years apart.
Okay.
So Serene was born January 3rd, 2000. Sincere was born September 2001.
Okay.
So they were always like growing up together.
Yeah.
And so, once you become the bigger sibling, you
Right.
kind of take on like a certain energy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I'm the
it's
oldest.
like I gotta make
I'm the
sure he's
oldest.
good.
That's right.
Let me facilitate. You want to talk to you, if you want to talk to you, go through me and I'll tell you. I'll get it in line for you. So we took on the big brother role good. He was always in sports. He played basketball, t-ball. He really connected with football. And so he started playing football in Burbank. So he played for the Burbank Vikings all the way and then when he got to high school, he joined the football team. Great wide receivers. He was killing on that too. He was always into, his clothing, what he was wearing. He liked to look good, especially as he got older.
Right. Yeah.
You see the transition.
Yes.
So-
I'm seeing it. With
Yeah. So you see, the swag starts
He
coming
cared.
in.
He starts to
Yeah.
care, yeah.
Now they start requesting certain things. like,
Right.
Let me get these. And so, and as he got older, he started working, and like his taste was expensive. Like he was the son where I'll ask like, "What you want for Christmas?"
Mm-hmm.
My younger son would be like, just this game.
Right.
That's it. Or he'd be like, I don't know. Or if I take him to go get clothes, he wouldn't like anything. He would like one shirt, maybe a pair of pants.
Right.
The range, he'd be like, oh, I'm glad you asked.
I actually wrote
He got the
this.
spreadsheet. He got the spreadsheet. He got links. He got all right. So here we go. So, when he got older, like he was wearing like $300 t-shirts, the one with that big V in the back.
And
like,
how old was he?
he was at this time when he was doing that, he was like 20,
Okay.
19,
Okay.
20. And I'm just like, how much was how, when? And so, because I remember he had his car got totaled. And so, they gave him money for the total out. And I was like, hang on to that money so you can put it towards another vehicle.
Right.
But he was spending. And I was just like, and then he was coming in, jeans was like 300. Shirt was like a Honda. He had some Alexander McQueen's. I was like, yo, what's, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yo, you big spender. Big spender. He liked to talk on the phone. He was a phone talker. So he would call me and talk. He was always like, he got into music later on, so he started rapping.
Oh, I love it.
And he was always like, just trying to find, he was trying to find his way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what he wanted to do, his plans. He would always talk about his plans.
Yeah.
I'll do this, I'm working on this song, be in the studio. So he was very goal driven.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I see what you're doing. So I would just listen, give tips every now and then. And one thing about me as a parent, I didn't want to over insert myself into their lives.
Of course.
Because, as parents, they're our children, but they aren't our property.
No.
So it's like I always tried to make sure that I was hands on, but hands off at the same time. If that makes sense.
It does, yeah, for sure.
And so
You guide them, but
guide them,
yeah.
And I like to lead through example, like because kids watch you.
Of course, yeah.
And so I found out how much they were watching me, like later on we got me and their mom got divorced in 2012.
Okay.
And so we were always like, even when we split, I moved 10 minutes away.
Okay.
I was still in Burbank.
Okay.
And so I was close. So I was still taking them to school, and me and my ex-wife have always gotten along.
Oh, I love that.
So it's like
it was a good dynamic.
Yes,
co-parenting.
absolutely.
Great.
And we were still a team on parent front. So so when I was married, they saw me cooking dinner. They saw me, making Cherie's plate. They saw me, cleaning up. They saw, because since I'm out here acting, I'm pretty much
around
a house husband.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so,
you're pursuing,
I'm taking them to school. I'm getting them registered for school.
Right.
I'm taking them to practice. I'm taking them to everything. And so they're just seeing, I'm making them lunch every morning.
Right.
So they just seeing it. So I'm not just saying, hey, man, you got to make the lunch. You got to cook sometime as a man. I was just doing
You were doing it.
I was just
right,
doing
right.
it. And so, they watching me open the door for her. They watching me pump gas. So they just watching. And so I found out later after he passed, there was this girl that he was kind of seeing. And she would talk to my ex at the time. And she would talk to her like, he was such a gentleman. He would walk on this side of the street. And like, you know what I'm saying? He would open my car door. I was just like, he was paying attention. So I was just like, he always had gum, you know what I'm saying?
He always had
Just like his old man. He always had chapstick. He was never ashy. I was like,
Oh, that's a good one. I'm trying to teach. I am literally trying to teach my sons.
Yeah.
Why do your knees look white right now? Put some lotion on your body.
But I got the pants on. No. But you got
it's underneath is a whole underneath is a whole it's like snake skin.
Yes.
Underneath.
Absolutely. They in their phase.
Right.
Once they they hit the certain area where they be like, oh, I got to step up the appearance.
Right.
And sometimes it might take a girl at their school or whatever to say something, and then it's gonna click.
Exactly.
That's what clicked for me. A girl at school, I was like, oh, all right. So, so I found out that stuff about him, through the third. I was like, you were paying attention.
Very cool.
So but great kid. Like I actually like my kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's important to say because as family members, we don't always like our family.
Right.
We love them.
Right. For sure.
But do you like such and such?
Right.
Do you?
Exactly.
A lot of people don't even like their parents like that.
Right.
So they love them, but every time they get together, like, this is why I don't visit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but with my sons, it was always a great vibe. It was like, we got along. I respected them. Friendship is there, but also, I made sure they respected me as dad.
Father,
You know what I'm saying? So, but I always had to. And then when we would get together, we'd be at game nights and we hanging out. I'm just looking at them like, oh, I like these kids. Like if they weren't mine, I'd be like, yo, I like these young men.
Right. Yeah.
And so to me, that's very important because I feel like, actually liking your children goes a long way.
It really does.
Because I'm not just trying to tell you how to live your life or
Right.
not respecting your viewpoints or your boundaries,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Now, some of his taste in music, I'd be like, I ain't feeling this. But that's just minor. But
Right.
but we connected on like Kendrick and J. Cole,
Love it.
like them. So yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
So how have you been coping
Mhm.
with losing him? Especially, I mean, like you said, we all love our children. But
Right.
the fact that you really liked your children,
Mhm.
you liked him as a person. And
Right.
I know for a parent, you have these dreams about
For sure.
what your child will become and
Mhm.
having grandchildren and outliving your children. Like none
Right.
of us are not their children
outliving
outliving
us.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Not them, not you outliving them.
Yeah.
So how have you been coping? How long has it been since?
So he passed August 3rd, 2021. So he was 21. It happened like late, almost midnight, 2021. I had seen him like an hour before because he was at my place and he was going out to hang out with a girl, Natalie, who also passed in that accident. Natalie and his friend Jaden, they also passed. The driver of their car, she survived, but I haven't talked to her yet. I don't think she's ready. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but so that's when it happened, and I remember waking up that morning like, did he come home last night? And so I got the call. Well, my ex-wife called me first. She was hysterical,
Yeah.
and then I got the call from the police officer, and I was just like, so then I was hysterical. And so, and I got 2 cats. I want to say this. This is a side note. Cats are compassionate.
Are they? I'm not a cat fan. I have to be honest because this is what my podcast is about, being honest. So tell me about their compassion.
So when I was like crying hysterically, they were really hyper fixated on my face and they really wanted to be close to me. It was crazy. It was just like they were really trying, because they're not loud in my bedroom.
Right.
So they were really trying to get in there. They were just like zeroed in. Then I saw a video the other day of cats comforting crying babies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's something there.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that in there. But so of course, the worst moment of my life of all time, and it was just like, in that moment, I want to die.
Of course.
Can we exchange souls? Can we do whatever? I'm pleading with God at this point. I'm just like, and so, going through, going through all of this was ground zero. So it was just like, so fast forward through all of, the ground zeros and the crying and stuff like that. It's just like, man, when death hits, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So now you figure out ways to survive. And I surprised myself, like, when I would see people on TV that lost children and they're talking about it,
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you able to
function
and form sentences and talk to the media? Like, how are you?
Yeah.
I could never.
Right.
Until it happened to us. So we just like, and now I'm talking, forming sentences. I'm like, I'm laughing.
Right.
In ground zero, I'm still like.
Did you ever feel guilty about it? Like, did you feel guilty when you felt joy or,
No.
Good.
Because I was just like, I'm glad I can still laugh.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I thought I would just shut off and just die. But it's like, I'm laughing. We would go to the corner where the accident was.
Yeah.
They have a mural there.
Okay.
Now. And so we would go there like every day after the accident for a while. And, I sat in where they found it. And so as I'm sitting in there with family, we're laughing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, what is this?
Right.
So it was very surprising. And so, going through life, living and existing. And, some days are harder than others. I did have my struggles of not wanting to get out the bed and just overeating and stuff like that. But through it all, I was still able to function. I went back to work. I had a weekend of shows in Atlanta that August, late August. And I went, and it made me feel better to perform for people and make people laugh. So I was just like, all right. And so it was just like, even though I'm dealing with the sadness and the hurt. I'm like, all right, I'm still able to function. And plus, I have another child too. So
I was
it's
gonna
like,
say, how
can't-
has it been with your, with your other child and him losing his big brother?
right? And so, and I tell him too. I'm like, I'm sorry for your loss, even though we all lost
Yeah.
Serene.
It's a different
It's a
type
different
of loss.
relationship.
Yeah.
You know, that's his brother, and so, I tell him that, and he's always been very cerebral.
Mm,
He's a cerebral child, and so he may not always open up.
right.
Serene was more emotional. He was more like, conversational,
Yeah.
expressive.
Right.
Like when he was down about football or having girlfriend troubles, he would
Yeah.
open up and be like, "Dad, what you think of this?" Sincere, on the other hand, he's more cerebral in his head. He's shyer, a little more social anxiety, but he opens up when the time is right. So you just kind of had to wait for him.
Right.
He opened up to me recently. I was like, yeah, fine.
And how old is he?
He is 22.
22.
He'll be 23 this year. So yeah, so I'm just like, all right, he's opening up now too. But like getting through that, what really my main tool it's dealing with this level of grief
Yes.
is that I had a great relationship with him.
Mm, yes. And remembering that.
Remembering that, I talk about him. Whoever wants to hear it, like he's not the name that should not be mentioned, like Harry Potter or something like that, because I feel like we do our loved ones a disservice when we can't talk about them.
Right.
And so, I'm always down to talk about it. If I cry, I just cry. If the wave comes, I don't fight the waves.
Good.
My good friend Shantae told me, because she lost her husband, and I was talking to her, and she was just like, when the waves come, don't fight it.
Yeah,
Just
let
take
it
the
come.
wave. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right, okay. So I never fight a wave. And the key component, though, is the great relationship.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when we lose somebody that we feel like
There was a strained relationship or
Strained.
stuff you wanted to say you didn't, or your last interaction with them wasn't positive.
that's when it's super tough for people
Yeah.
because they have regret and guilt that
Yes.
they're dealing with.
Yes.
If only I could have said, if I should have said, I
Yeah.
wonder if they knew how much. I don't have that.
Right.
Like he knew he was loved. He left here knowing his family loved him 100%.
I love that.
And so, and our last words were, I love you too. So it was just like, that to me is the biggest comfort.
Yeah.
Because if I was to have regret
Yeah.
or like any type of guilt, I'd still be a mess.
Right.
So that's why I tell people, like, your loved ones, patch it up if you can. Do what you can on your end
Yeah.
to make it right with whatever loved one you're dealing with,
Yeah.
family, whatever the case may be. Just let them know that you love them, that you're there. Try your best to work through it.
Things. Yeah.
Because just in case, God forbid, you don't want to have that regret, because that's going to last a lot longer than a loving memory. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that's what's helped me tremendously.
Did you do therapy? Any therapy?
No therapy yet.
Okay.
Yeah, like the stand up became my therapy.
I was gonna ask, has comedy aided you in your healing
Absolutely.
process? Yeah.
Because I'm very transparent on stage.
Right.
I'm pretty much transparent all across the board.
Right.
Like on stage, it's very and I was nervous to talk about him on stage because the people that are fans of me, they saw it happen in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want them to be too sad
Right.
to laugh when I do joke.
Right.
Because, I joke about it. That's funny within everything that we
Of
went through.
course. Yes.
It's comedy everywhere. And so it's just like I had a joke about the ashes, the urn. And I'm just like,
Oh, did you guys cremate him?
we cremated him.
Okay.
And so I was just like, how we know this him? They could have handed me any box of
Anybody.
dust. Like, you're the son. I'm like, this is him. How do we know? I need to go on more and be like, test this
Test
dust.
this dust.
I can make sure.
Oh my gosh.
And so, we got the urns in the house, and I got his ashes are
I was
here.
gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that way I always got them with me. And so it's just like, and now I want to be cremated. And, the stuff we think about, you know what I'm saying, with death. And it also taught me a lot about to be a better person when somebody loses somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm better now.
Right. I was gonna say, what are the most awkward, what are some things that you can say, do not say this to a person who's lost someone, or do not do this, or
Right.
were there any moments with people that it was just be quiet. Like you know, you're saying too much.
Right. People don't always have to prove that they can connect, that they've been
I
there
think
too.
people feel pressure to do
Yeah,
that.
they be like, I lost my dog, so I know exactly what you're going through. I had a dog that I had for about 5 years, so I know the pain. Like, you don't always have to dig up some, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, some
Exactly.
pain, whatever it may be. Because I don't want to get into a mind state where I'm just minimizing your hurt. Because really,
I need to connect with your hurt. So let me tell you.
let me tell you what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? And so, because everybody's pain is different.
Yes, it is.
Regardless, like, even though me and Cherie, we both lost our son,
Yeah.
our pain is different.
Oh, and you guys, like K. Dot says, everybody grieves different.
Absolutely. It's like a fingerprint. Like I say, every relationship is like a fingerprint, and every moment of grief, whatever, is like a fingerprint. It's unique to you.
Yeah.
And so the best thing we can do to be there for people is just listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I love you.
Yeah.
You good? How you feeling today?
Right.
How you feeling?
Just ask that.
Let's just ask that. How you feeling today? And if they feel like talking, they'll talk. If they don't, and if they come to you for advice, like how did you deal with? Then you can tell your story and be like, well, when I lost so and so, this is what helped me. But you don't have to just come in
off the gate,
off the top ropes.
And sometimes it's okay to just be quiet. Like
Absolutely.
I have a friend who, at a certain time in her life, was struggling with, just some emotional things or whatever, and I would just go over her house and we just sat in the closet one time.
Yeah.
She was in the closet having a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and I just sat in the closet with her. I didn't say nothing. I put on some gospel music,
Mm-hmm.
and we just sat in the closet.
That's it.
And you don't have to know what to say.
You don't have to.
I did not know what to do.
Yeah.
Like my friend is having a mental breakdown. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I literally do not know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just know I can be here.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that's all is really necessary, unless they ask you specifically for something, like just being there.
Yeah.
Like my good friend Demetrius, he would just text me, "I love you," daily.
Yeah.
Man, this is great. That's all he was saying. I was like, man, I love you too, man. But that alone was just like,
Yeah, it's comfort.
you don't have to come out with quotes. You don't have to come out of nowhere with a scripture.
Right.
I'm just like, man, I don't even read the Bible like
And
that.
the Lord.
Yeah, John 3:16 says, man, get out, look out. And so, through death like this, you see people. Some people disappear. Some people rise to the occasion that you never expected. So I noticed that too. I was just like my dad kind of disappeared, and my oldest brother kind of disappeared.
Really?
So I was just like,
Wow.
it hurt.
Because everybody grieves different.
Exactly.
Too. But it's so. But then you hurt by it.
I was just like, because they both couldn't make the funeral, which we had to push back because of COVID. But it was just like, well, y'all didn't have to disappear from the communication. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I see my mom and my other brother, and they were out here. They were rescheduled. They were coming back, and my mom just came out here and just sat. You know what I'm saying? My family's travel is trash. Like they never travel. So the fact my son had to pass for me to get the trip out here.
Damn.
Man. But my mom didn't really say a lot through this whole process. She was just there.
Right.
And so just that was a comfort. Right. It was just like she didn't have to come out with the scriptures and the quotes and in life. She had to do none of that. She was just around.
Yeah. And
so that could mean a lot. Like my good friend Kev on stage, when he lost his brother suddenly.
I knew his brother, Jason.
Yeah,
that was devastating.
Man. And so I told Kevin, I was on his neck. I was on him and Melissa's neck. What you need? What you want me to do? What you want from me? What's going on? I wouldn't have had these tools if I didn't go through what I went through. And so I asked him what he needed from me, and he told me just play pool, just keep playing pool with me over text. We play pool all the time.
Yeah.
He just keep playing pool with me. And I was just like, you got it. And we just playing pool. I'm just asking, what'd you eat? Did you eat?
Did you eat
What'd
today? Yeah.
What y'all eat? What y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What y'all doing? So I was just on that net. And so, and even when I went out there for Jason's funeral, it was just like, you shouldn't be anything. Oh, you're good. And that's it. I wasn't walking up like, when I lost my son.
Or just making it about you.
Yes.
I'm not saying you can't cry or show emotion.
Right.
When you love somebody, but just got to be cognizant of
Yeah, for sure.
how you show up for people. You know, and it has to be about showing up for people.
Absolutely.
So when I asked you to be on the podcast, I was telling you my cousin, my big cousin, his son, my little cousin, was in a car accident this past November, and it was the most devastating thing I have witnessed. Like literally the day before, my cousin is a trainer. He was training me. Okay, so we working out together, we laughing, talking, and my cousin's about 7 years older than me.
Okay.
So you know, I wouldn't say we were like super duper close, and I'm traveling all the time, but I've been making a point to be like, you know what, I need to like connect with the other people in my family. My cousin is a trainer. Let me give him the money that I would give somebody else from to train me, and then we can connect as family, you know. And so 2 weeks, you know, we're working out and stuff. So one day we started working out, and then I think it was the next day.
Yeah.
He's like, Cody is somebody texted me, I think, and was like, Cody is gone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, and I remember the thing he said to me when we all went over the house, you know, and he was like, when he got the news, he, of course, was hysterical, broke down like you, but then he was like, the last thing he said to me is, I'll see you later, Dad. Like, so he just stood outside, like, waiting for him to come back. Yeah. You know, because he's like, he said he was coming back. Right. You know? So I'm just going to wait here until he gets back. Right. You know? And all we could do is just not tell him that he's not coming back. Right. Like, oh, come on inside. He ain't coming back. Like,
you know damn well.
It's like, nah, we gonna let, this is part of his grieving journey. But to see a parent, and me having two sons, to see a parent lose a child, it is just devastating. Absolutely. And so I try to check on him, you know, hey cuz, how you doing? Love you. You know, sometimes I just say, I love you. You know, I know Father's Day was hard for him, you know. And I thought about you when, you know, he lost his son. And like, men, I just feel like parents that lose children, and men in particular, because one of the things he said is like, it should have been me.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't there to save him. Like, like his whole life, he would come to me when he needed something, and I could save the day. Yeah, you know, like I could be the one to make things better. And in that moment when he's losing his life, I let him down. You know what I mean? Like, these are all the weights. For sure. And they had a great, like you and your son, great relationship. I think Cody was 26, had 2 kids of his own. Like, it's just devastating. And part of the reason why I wanted you to come on is I want my cousin to see this interview. I want, you know, I want him to know, like, he's not alone. You know, there's other parents and men out here grappling with the fact that part of an extension of who they are is no longer, you know, here. So thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, thank you for doing this.
Our hearts are going to be broken for life.
Yeah,
we're done, but we can just learn to, you know, exist within it. And like he was saying, like he wished he was there, and like, you know, my biggest source of like emotion is just like, man, I took Serene to every first. You know what I'm saying? First day of school, first day of middle school, first day of the new school, when he got his ears pierced, when he got his first tattoo, first day of football practice, I was always there. And this is one journey I couldn't
go with him
take him to make sure he was good. And that's what tears me up the most. I just be like, yeah. So, but
sorry.
Oh, my bad. My bad. But that's the one time I couldn't take him. And that's what tears me up. It's just like, man, I couldn't take him to make sure he was good. Yeah. Because he had to go alone. So, but he did go alone, but just, you know. But
yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? And so, but other than that, and the fallout from this is what changed me since then. I'm kind of more reclusive.
Yeah.
I'm you know, I don't want to make it look like, oh, Tony's handling it well. No, I do have, you know, side effects
course.
You know, I stay in the house more. It's hard to get me to come out socially.
Yeah.
What else do I do now? I'm always striving for peace now. If I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it because I'm already, you know, I've already dealt with so much. It's just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And so, you know, that can alienate some people. Where it's just like, no, I'm not gonna come out. I'll be in the house. I'm alone like 85% of the time.
Yeah.
And so it's just me and the two cats at the crib, and so it's just like, and that can affect my dating too in the future. Like when women want to spend time.
Are you are you open for to date? I'm
I've
sure the ladies want to know.
I've been, you know, dating a little bit here and there, but it's not like anything is sticking because they want time. Women want time,
Right.
You know? And so I'll be stingy with the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just like I'll just be in that house.
It would take a special person anyway to to have the patience to know like this person just went through a major,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
a major thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have the capacity for it, but I'm sure you'll find the right one.
Oh, sure. Man, one thing about me and dating, you know, you can call it arrogant or whatever, but it's a lot of good women out here.
It is.
It's a ton of y'all. I'll figure you that too. It's a ton of y'all. So it's just like, I know I'm gonna find a good match. It's not like, you know, my biggest worry was always career.
Right.
You know, because I always knew I would find a good partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know that, you know, I'll probably lose specific ones. You're like, oh, you know, I waited too long. You don't have to. But I'm optimistic in you know, in that element of my life.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a lot of good women out there. Don't be fooled by what people saying in the comment section. But, man, it ain't like a good choice. Yes, it is. You're just not looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like y'all have more.
We do.
I
will say that.
Y'all got more choices than we do.
It's easier for men than it is for women.
It is.
Yeah. I'm gonna own that because it's like, because dudes be like, hey, a lot of good women out here. Are you serious?
It is.
They out here, bro.
They are.
They out here. They educated. They making good money. They out here. And they be like, no, they ain't out. All right.
No, yeah. Anyway.
I can give you a whole list of quality women right here, right now. But
I
yeah.
love that.
So
yeah. What's next as we wrap up? What's next for you?
What's next for me? I took a whole year off of touring because I was working constantly. Ever since I told you I started doing stand up, I never really took breaks.
Gotcha.
The pandemic, even that, we were still working
right.
remotely. So I took a year off of touring for this whole year. So I'll be back on the road next year.
Nice.
I'm doing the Ball Brothers podcast with Kev.
Nice. Yes.
It's
hilarious.
Oh man, we be cutting up, man. I love that too. And I have Verbal Cardio. That's a podcast by myself. And occasionally I have guests on there too.
Well, let me know.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got Verbal Cardio. I was a part of Daddy Issues, but I had my last episode this past week.
Okay.
But I still want y'all to tune in to Daddy Issues. Got DC Irvin, Keon Poley, Chaz Rogers, and Craig Wayans.
Okay.
Also, the Ball Brothers show that we do at Flappers. I do a monthly show if you are in LA at Flappers Comedy Club called Tony Baker and Friends. And I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
This was a great conversation.
Thank you.
I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Of course, wishing you the best. I'm not kidding. If you do a one-man show,
all right,
I will direct it.
I'm holding you to it. Don't be giving me that. I'm swamped over here. I'm like, you understand? I'm gonna send you the clip. Right. I'll be like, remember Hugh had said.
Right. Mm-hmm. But yes, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Good hug too. Good quality hug. They had calories on that hug, man. A lot of y'all getting calorie-less hugs out here. No sugar added. We ain't having it.
I love it. Thank y'all.